Good evening, everyone. Uh, Myself Tushar Vaswani from UpgradeMore community, and today we are going to have an excellent podcast from Mr. Abhishek sir. Hi, Abhishek. How are you?
Hi Tushar, I'm fine. How are you?
Okay, I'm also good. So, we will be having this podcast session, and this podcast session is basically on the questions and answers. It will be a Q&A session, more basically, and it will consist of all the questions which were asked on yesterday's event during yesterday's session. So there were a lot of questions. That is why we planned out to hold this hot podcast, and then we can proceed for the questions. So there were a lot of questions. I'll start asking them one by one. Um, so first, I would like to give the introduction about UpgradeMore community. UpgradeMore is a community of amazing and fantastic developers, so that people contribute their ideas, their contributions, and if they want to improve themselves as a contributor, or they want to contribute anything to this community, they can easily join us and they can showcase. So in a way, this helps in personality development, and then communication development. So if you are interested to join UpgradeMore's community, please join our Discord link, and our the Discord links link would be there in the YouTube chat. And yes, so let's get started. Yes, so Abhishek, there is
Yeah.
this question from Urta Punjab. Okay, so this was
Okay.
our first question. He says, what is the difference between Nano and Vim?
Okay. The Nano and Vim both are the editors which can be used to edit any file that you want. So there is not such as a difference, just that command interface or GUI is different. That's it. And there are many functionality that are present in different tools. Usually, Nano is the best choice because it is simple to use, but Vim is little bit tougher. But if you can use Vim, it's also fine. It's totally
So,
depend on
so I
person.
think Vim would have more functionalities than
Both of
Nano.
them have functionalities, but it is little bit complicated when it comes to Vim editor. For Nano, it is like very simple. Anyone can understand. Just little bit of navigating and
So,
yeah.
if we are a beginner, you would recommend to use Nano.
Nano, obviously. Nano.
Okay. So this was the first question. Um, the second question is from Darshan Goswami. Um, yes. So he asked us, what, did you know about Campfish?
Yeah, I guess it is a tool related to fishing. Something I'm not sure about it because
Okay.
I never used it that much.
Okay. So the next question is being asked by Mr. John. So he asked that is there any specific way that we can check about a specific file type?
Yes, we can. Uh, See, sometimes file doesn't have an extension to recognize it like it is a file or a text file or it is an executable file. So there is a command in Linux, any Linux distribution, you can use this. There is a file command which can be used on a file, which will tell you whether it is a text file or a executable file.
Right. Okay. So we can use this commands to list all the various options which are available, and then we can list the files and check what files.
No, this is different. Not to list file, just to check its file type, like what it is, like whether it is a text file or whether it is an executable file or any
Okay.
kind of file. For example, zip file, text file, executable, or some kind of binary. Just give you a general idea what type of file you are dealing with. For that purpose, file command can be used.
Okay. And do you think that is Linux more safer than Windows?
Well, no. Well, that's a tough question, but Linux is more secure as compared to Windows because Uh, see, most of the operating system the users that uses is a Microsoft Windows. Okay,
Right.
and hackers mostly target Windows only. It's not like that doesn't target Linux, but Microsoft has a whole huge base and it is easy to use. So most of the malware that has been released is related to Windows only. But for Linux is also that is not like completely secure, but as Linux is an open source, you can go and check its source code, and rarely any backdoor or bug is left out because there is a huge community that give their effort and try to fix it.
It's like they're working behind the
Yeah.
Linux
So
distribution, so they keep
Linux is
on.
more secure. Yeah, Linux is more secure as compared to Windows. But usually Linux,
Okay.
no user don't use Linux for corporate world, like lot of them
Yeah.
only
Because
in the.
Windows is more user friendly, and
Yeah, right.
so okay. So, and again, another question from the same person, Mr. John.
Hmm.
He asked that can there be one IP, more than one IP in a system?
Yes, you can assign more than one IP to a system, but it is not recommended because it can lead to obstruction basically. Now what I mean by obstruction is like if you assign two IPs for the single system and there is only one network interface card, then it can lead to downgraded performance basically. That's why they don't
Like,
suggest to
like,
do that. For example, a network interface card support suppose 100 MB or transfer data file. Like it says power to transfer 100 MB per second. Okay, of a
Hmm.
data that comes to a network. So if you assign two IPs, there will be a collision, and it has to divide its resources in two IPs to accept that data. So it will downgrade the process. And yeah, that's the thing. So if you want to assign two IPs, you can, but you have to install multiple NIC for that in your system. So there won't be any collision, no downgraded performance.
Hmm. Right. Okay. So there's one more question.
Mhm.
How can we find passwords in a computer? Like, is there any hash which we can?
Uh, for passwords, well, you can find passwords in Windows system or Linux system. There is a file for Windows. There is a file SAM and security, which you can find it inside your C folder, through which you
Hmm.
can get a hash file of whatever password or whatever user that you have created on that system. For Linux, there is two files, etc shadow and etc password, but password hashes are stored in etc shadow file. So you can get a hash from that etc shadow. So that's the way you can find a password in a whole system.
So, meanwhile, I would like to tell my viewers, if you have any questions for Mr. For Abhishek, you can simply raise your hands if you are in the Discord channel right now. Now, and if you are in the YouTube live chat, please chat there, and you'll be uh, we'll be answering the question. So yes. Now there are some other questions which are highly important in terms of the community. So the community people have asked these questions from you. So can you speak more about John the Ripper? So what are its capabilities and what is the alternative for it?
The John the Ripper is a cracking tool. Basically, as you were speaking about passwords, right? To crack
Right.
those passwords, they are not stored in a plain text. For that, you have to crack it. It is stored in some kind of hashes file, hashes format. So you have to crack it in a plain text so that you can understand. For that, John the Ripper is very useful. It has many options of flags which can help you, crack a password faster. And John the Ripper is very fast and easy to use. You can use that tool however you want. Just you have to know like what you're doing basically.
So what is the hash? Can you just brief?
Hash. Okay. So when you save a password, right, there is an algorithm which encrypt that password, okay, or has that password in a non-readable format. So whenever you try to log in, it run that algorithm again has a password and then compare it in the database which is stored. For example, for a Linux, it will go and check in etc shadow whether that hash password matches. If it matches, then it grants you an access. If not, you are denied, like access denied.
So its hash is a one-way thing, right?
Yeah, one way
Like,
thing.
okay. Okay. So what is the difference between a hash and other algorithms which are like
There are
SHA-256?
many hashing algorithm. Actually, there are a lot of hashing algorithm which people use based on their business. Basically, like for example, etc shadow hashes their password using SHA-512 algorithm, which is the
So that is a
strongest hashing algorithm.
512-bit uh,
Yeah,
encryption.
right. So
Okay.
it is harder to crack that. So yeah,
So what is the difference between like this 8-bit, then there is 512-bit? Why so much? So the more the bit, the safer it is. Is it like that?
yeah, you can
Or
say that because if you have a less amount of key, that 512 is a key. Okay, so
right?
if the key value is lesser, then anyone can brute force that key and try to decrypt your password, which is very lengthy task. No one goes up to that. But before, password keys were very small, which were easily brute forceable. So later, as technology grew, hashing algorithm got powerful. So it is now hard to crack a password basically.
As I was seeing one news from I think Times of India, and they said that the 128-bit encryption, SHA 128-bit,
Hmm.
was simply broken on 2016, and
Right.
then last year I think it was 256 bit that was broken. So I
Yeah.
think the more this is going on, the like according to technology, like then this is quantum computing is also coming.
Yeah. Right.
So it can yeah. So let's move on to the next question.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is a question. I tried installing a tool which is not available to install using APT.
Okay.
What is the reason and what should we do for that?
As I have said in the session that sometimes the tools that you want, whether it is a third party tool or whatever tool you want, sometimes it is not present in that table local store of that apt cache. Okay, so whenever you try to apt install and like name that tool name, it will try to go through that cache file and see whether that package or mirror for that package is stored or not. So if it is not present, it will directly say that we are not able to find it, something like that. So the reason for that, it is not available in that cache too. So that's why whatever tool you want to have, first to try, reason for that I have told you, first you have to try updating your cache store first, so that if any tools that are available or that they have support for, it will get cache in your local store, local cache, apt cache, and then you can try to download it, like install it. The second thing is you can go and Google it and download it manually. Basically, you will find a dev file for that, and you can install dpackage tool.
And where are these caches stored in the local computer? Like, is there a folder
Yeah,
which we
there is a
can?
folder.
Okay,
In
so APT stores all the.
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay. So, for our viewers, if we want to upgrade, like for to answer this question,
Hmm.
if we have to first update the caches of the Linux
Yeah,
repository, so that
once you run that apt command update, right? Apt update,
yeah,
it will update it automatically. Like you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, and in many of the times you will not get this problem.
No, you will get that problem because it doesn't support every package, right? Like it should have that mirror link for that.
Yeah,
To download it, go and download that tool from this URL, this mirror link. If it is
and
not present, to
there
download it.
is there is also another application installer, DPKG something.
Yeah, right. Dpackage tool,
So
which is used to manually install whatever tool you want to install or software you want to install. That's what I said. If you want to manually install, like you are not able to install it using apt tool, you can go on Google and search for that package file for that particular tool, that which is usually in .deb file, and you can download it and then use dpackage to install it, and it will work as fine as
okay, so let's move on the next question. Okay, so this is a fun question actually. Have you ever got this request from a friend or a colleague that please hack my girlfriend's account?
well. Yes, actually, when I was in college, yeah, I used to get that type of request a lot. Like,
Okay,
do can you get me a password for my Instagram account, for my friend, for my girlfriend, like that. So yeah, there were a
okay.
lot of requests like that. Yeah.
So what was like? Can you just elaborate what like how are these things done actually? How to if you are a person, if you want to
Mhm.
get prevented from hacking, you want to
Mhm.
be safe. So what should one do?
Well, the one thing is don't click on any URL that you get, because
Yeah.
you can never trust anyone, because even if it's like your neighbor, your friend, you don't know that malicious intent behind that. Like you can click that, but just don't enter a sensitive data in it. If it is from a stranger, just don't click on that link. Simple as that. Because hackers
Yes.
can create a same to same exact page. For example, if he's saying for like, let me give you an example for phishing. If you want to get a credential for someone, You can just create a phishing page which will be look exactly like that Instagram page,
Like
and you will,
Instagram. Yeah.
yeah, login page, and he will send you, yeah, see man, this is the link, you can go, and like basically convince you to click on that link and enter your credential and go inside, which will obviously won't work because it is just a page. Once you enter that credential, his server, which is trying to get any data, whatever you're trying to enter, will cache that data and show it to him, and your credentials are leaked, or he can gain access to your account. So yeah, the main thing is don't click on any URL from strangers. And
Yeah.
if you know that guy, just click on it, but don't enter any sensitive data,
Okay.
because
And
people
there
make
is
it very convincing to click on those URL. Nowadays, there are a lot of phishing attempts going on. As you can read the news, a lot of people getting scammed like that.
yeah. Yeah. So this is a very popular way to attack phishing.
Yeah, common way. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
usually people get fall for that because they don't know that people can do that. That's
Okay.
why this awareness. Yeah.
So let's move on to the next question. Um, what if I started FTP or
Mhm.
SMB services and kept it running permanently?
You can. It depends on your what do you want. Like if you want to do that, you can do it, no problem. But it is not a secure way. For example, if your system is publicly available, like accessible, and this kind of sensitive ports are open, and any kind of sensitive data is present on that system, anyone can try to gain an access of that using default credential, or maybe he found
Yeah.
your credential and get inside and get that sensitive data and go away. You won't even know about it. So it is not a secure way. But if you want to use it, just do proper configuration, like use proper password and stuff, may maintain access control, and everything will be fine.
Hmm. Okay. So another question. Um, whenever we need to use sudo for a particular action,
Mhm.
how to make that particular as a default root permission so that we don't need to use sudo a number of times.
No, it's not like you don't have to use the sudo. You have to use it if certain commands need that. Why it asks for that? Because that particular tool needs a permission for those services which need higher access, basically. For example, like if you are trying to modify some kind of file, like permission of a file, it will ask for sudo because you are changing a permission of a root file which is owned by a root. It needs a higher level of permission. That's why it tells you to use sudo. You can add your current user in sudo, like you can give root permission to that particular user by
Right.
adding that user in a sudoers file. That sudoers file is present in etc, which is basically a configuration file which tells the system like, yeah, this is are the legitimate users which can use sudo without any password or with password. It depends on configuration. Without any password, if you have selected which is insecure, and he can access any tool or run any tool if he wants. So you can update edit that sudoers file present in the etc folder and give that root access to him like that.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, this is the last question.
Mhm.
Um, people are very interested about your journey of OSCP. So, can you give us the some highlights, and can you tell us if there is a beginner who wants to make a career in cybersecurity, what steps should he follow first, and what is OSCP?
See, I will tell you my step, like what I did follow.
Right.
Uh, okay, so what I did was basically to, first learn about all the basic stuff, like what is networking, how TCP and UDP ports work, what are the port numbers, what are the services that run on the port service, what is services, how to start, stop, and all the session that we did yesterday. All that basic stuff. After I completed my basic round, I went on a Try Hack Me platform to follow that paths that are mentioned in there, basically to solve all those machine. or gain initial information on how to use burp, like what kind of vulnerabilities are present, like SQL injection, XSS, not XSS, SQL injection, RCA, LFI, and everything. TryAcme is a best platform for to learn about clear all your basic fundamentals, and start preparing from the ground. It is very helpful. And then after you did all those rooms and followed all those paths in TryAcme, I went for OneLove machines. OneLove is also a platform in which all people around the world create a machine, vulnerable machine, and upload it on the OneLove, which is accessible to anyone. So they
Hmm.
can basically practice their pen testing skills on that, or whatever they think they have learned, like local privilege escalation, getting how to enumerate a box, everything. So I practiced myself on OneLove, and after that, I started on Hack the Box. I usually follow TJ null list, which is present on the Google. You can find it there. So I followed all those machines that are present in the TJ null list, which is exactly like a OSCP, like not exact, but yeah, OSCP machine. If you want a general idea, like what OSCP machine will be in an exam, it can be like this. So instead of going here and there, a proper path for you. Yeah, you can try practicing on this box, and it will give you a general sense like what are the OSCP exam like machines are. So after practicing on Hack the Box, I started my OSCP lab and I was practicing on it. Once I'm done with that, I started my buffer overflow journey. Buffer overflow was a little bit tough, but once I got a hang of it, it was easy. So yeah, after doing all this, I gave my exam. It was
Okay,
easy,
so
not
can you
that
can
tough.
you give us some highlights on what are labs and why are labs practicing labs so important?
Basically, if you are practice on our lab, your skills get brushed up. Now you don't have to think about it. For example, if you're practicing on a lab and this is a vulnerable service, because you have practiced it like
Right,
10 to 15 times on different machine for same service, same version
right.
number, same exploit, then you can like it instantly click you. Yeah, I have tried this. So yeah, this exploit will work for this. So practicing it will help you a lot.
Okay.
So just keep practicing, be consistent, and it will be easy for you.
Okay, so there are a few other questions which I can see in the YouTube live chat.
Okay.
So yes, so Yash asks that what is the difference between APT upgrade and APT update?
So APT update, what it will do is it will just update your local APT cache, as I said, which is present in a ATC folder. You can update it using APT update. Once you update it, basically what it will do is it will update all the packages it has access to, and update it its local store. What APT upgrade will do is whatever packages that are available in APT cache, it will upgrade it to the latest version, whatever latest version that is available in the wild.
Right.
So that's the difference between that.
Okay, so another question from Aaron George.
Mhm.
Is there any site where all the commands of Linux are present for reference purpose?
Yeah, there is a site. Like you can just Google it, like
Yeah.
Linux basic command or Linux command cheat sheet. You will be able to find it.
Okay, so there are various GitHub repositories also,
Yeah, you can
so
find it in
that
a
we
GitHub
can.
repository. Yeah, right, right.
Right. Okay. So yes, and another question from Aaron George: how
Mhm.
do we make an exploit, and what all languages are? Uh, what should we like? What are all the languages which should be learned to make one?
Well, it actually depends on what kind of exploit you are making. For example, if you are targeting a service or a CMS, now it depends on what kind of CMS that is and on which language it has been built. Based on that, you have to use that exploit. But you can use Python, you can use Ruby, you can start learning it. It's never go to waste.
Okay,
You
I
can
would like to
create
tell
same
my
exploit in Python, Ruby, whatever you want.
right.
Hmm.
Okay, I would like to tell my users if you want to get content and you want help in any language, you can just join our YouTube and you can join the the Discord community, the UpgradeMore Discord community. So you'll get your answers, your questions, and you'll get it solved, and you'll get a lot of help, like how to create payloads, how to get the things done. If you are facing any error, you can easily say it to us, and then we will answer your questions. Okay, so another question from Discord chat. What is payloads and what we can do with it?
So payload is basically the thing that you're sending to a server, well,
Yeah,
telling them to just give me a reverse shell, basically. Like payload is just a data that you're sending to a server to tell them to do
right,
something with this.
right. So, can you also highlight upon the various types of attacks? And like there is reverse engineering, there is social engineering. So can you?
Hmm.
So if someone is a beginner, what should we
What should we?
get to know in all this? Like what are these engineering types?
Well, it depends what interests you, basically. Like if you are interested in creating exploit, or if you are interested in uh, learning about malware, then you can be a malware analyst if you want. You have to have some basic programming knowledge and start reading all those virus code that has been already created. If you want to get inside of pen testing, you should have a, pen testing is a big field. Like it has mobile pen testing, Android, iOS, in which is there web application pen testing, API, thick client, network pen testing. It's like a huge thing. Okay, so in which it is not a particular thing like you will learn this and you will know everything. You have to keep on learning, and whatever interests you, just start with that. It is not like that you will only start with network pen testing and then you have to go to web. It's not like that. Whatever interests you, you can start with that.
Hmm. Okay, so we have another question. Uh, can you please explain what was your work in the cybersecurity field, like daily works?
I am a security analyst, currently working in my organization. So my day-to-day work is, pen testing. Basically, whatever I told you just now, like I would do mobile pen testing, the client, web application pen testing, API. Yeah. So that's what I do in day-to-day life.
Okay, so and like if I had to ask one question, I had a question for you. What is blue teaming and red teaming? Can you highlight?
Okay. See, red teaming are those people that a main motive is to get inside an organization. Like they are trying to define like what a attacker, well, a malicious attacker can do to your organization. Like they can get inside your organization, steal sensitive data, and get outside, whatever vulnerability it is. So
Okay,
red teamers are those. Blue team are opposite of red teaming. Like they hard,
they
they
defend attacks.
defend basically, yeah, but they really do it well. Like they have to defend it from various attack, like web application, network. They have to total lockdown type thing. They have to monitor everything, every data, every log, and basically create a hard line so that no attack can be bypass their firewalls or network infrastructure to get inside. Basically, make it
Hmm.
hard for an attacker to get inside.
Okay.
Blue team is
So
more about
have you
defense, and
worked
red team is
in
about
any
attacking.
of the teams? Like have you actively there? Are you actively there in your organization as a red team or a blue team?
I am interested in getting in a red teaming, but I haven't done any assessment yet.
Okay, okay, okay. So that's another steps, a few more steps after a
Yes.
few more steps. Okay. Okay, so another question in the YouTube live chat
Hmm.
from Aaron George. Okay, as metaverse cryptocurrency fields are rising and improving day by day, what could be the cyber threats these fields will face? So, what courses should we learn for the cybersecurity, metaverse, NFT? So, these are very hyped terms right now. Metaverse, NFTs. So can you
Yeah.
just give us
See,
the light on what are all these?
uh, see, all it comes to basic, so you have to start from basic anyway. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
industry. And about metaverse, this is a virtual reality. So I guess uh, to safeguard it, you will need that pen testing skill anyway to get inside, like to
correct.
deal damage to that virtual reality game, like that. So you
Hmm,
might
right.
need that. You will need that hacker mentality. You will need that pen testing knowledge to do or deal some damage or to prove it that it is vulnerable.
So yeah, and I would like to tell other viewers that if you have any other questions, please post us in the YouTube live chat. Yes. So can you talking about networking? So can
Mhm.
you highlight us on the path CCNA and the routing and switching?
Yeah, CCNA. If you want to get inside in network engineering, CCNA is a good way to start. It will basically build your foundation for networking terms. Like you will know what is router, what is switch, how to configure it, what are the ports, how to configure a port, and physical devices. Like what are the physical devices in that? How to secure network infrastructure, general idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what you will learn in CCNA. And CCNA, CCNP, in which you will learn about IP tunneling and lot of stuff. There is a lot of more stuff. And then after that, after CCNP, there will be CCIE, which is the last certification for this path particularly. But if you are interested in networking only, then this is a good path to follow.
Okay. So a hacker does not need to, like, if you
No, no,
want
no, no.
to go for
We
ethical hacking, you don't need to pursue the CCNA exam. It's not a compulsory thing.
No, it's not like that. If you want to learn it for knowledge, then it's good actually, because you will know how networking work. So if you are
Right.
pursuing it, then that's good. If you want to learn about it, then it's good. It's your call.
Okay.
It's not like hackers can't study that or only specific to network engineer. It's not like that. If you want to study, if it interests you, then you can study about it.
Okay. So basically, it will clear the doubts on how a packet actually flows and
Hmm.
where to. You'll understand the very important concept of Wireshark.
Hmm.
So yeah. So that's how. Okay. So we have one more question from Ekta Patil. So which team has a good future? Is it red team or is it the blue team?
As per me, both of them I can differentiate because both of them are like only need red teamers. We don't need blue team. It's not like that. It
Right.
both ways like that. So you
Yeah.
need both of them. Both of them are very important.
And if you are a cybersecurity specialist, you should know both of how to
Yeah,
defend and how
you
to
should
attack.
know. Yeah, right.
Okay, okay, okay. So yes, so if if you were you were like 2 years back the line, if you
Hmm.
were like if you like if you're going to just come into this field, what would you advise for a new person who is like, what do you see? What are the errors which new people make who are stepping into
They don't
cybersecurity?
create a strong foundation for the basics. So I would still
Okay.
suggest them to clear all their fundamentals, all the basic stuff, and then jump on the advanced stuff. So it will
So,
help
can you
them.
share any example which has happened? Like,
Well, not like an example. I have friends who have skipped, like they have some basic knowledge, but not a strong grasp on it. So they directly started pen testing, and it was really hard for them to understand a service, like what is a service is used for, how can you exploit it, like that. So if you have basic understanding like what that service do, and if you know about how it is working, then you can find ways to exploit it, right? So
right,
hence you have to clear your basic understanding of everything. Like if you are in network pen testing, then you have to learn about all ports and stuff, all services, and climb your way up.
right. So, another question from Aaron George. So, can you tell about CTF competitions and how can we participate in one? So,
CTF
what are
competition.
CTFs? First, just can you brief
It is
about it?
capture the flag event. Basically, there will be a vulnerable endpoint, and you have to get inside using some vulnerability. For example, there is SQL injection. You will use an SQL injection to capture that flag that is stored on that web server.
Right.
So, capture the flag is a fun event, and it teaches you a lot. And I will recommend anyone to start with CTF. You know, it will help you clear all your fundamentals and take your skills to a higher level. So CTF is really good way to practice.
Mm, okay. So, also, I would like to thank our viewers. I think that's the end of it. So, I would like to thank the viewers for staying connected with us for this beautiful podcast session. Um, and also, Abhishek, if you have something to say regarding the community, please, or please, can you just say us a few words for the viewers?
Uh, uh, for what? Like tips, like you
Like, if, yeah, tips and regarding the community, regarding the upgrade community, can you?
create more community. Well, it is people are very helpful here,
Right,
and they manage it very well. And teaching is only they have created this cyber month, which is very helpful for beginners, as it will give them a basic knowledge about stuff that they are teaching. So it is really good, and they should keep it up. It will
right,
help the
right.
community. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, sir. Thank you for the knowledge and thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone, for this beautiful event and this podcast. We'll see you next week, and next week we will have another speaker, and we'll have some more questions, some more events, some more labs, and we'll get your concept cleared. If you have any other questions, you can join the Discord channel, the Discord community. You can freely post your questions there. You will get your answers within an hour, within 2 hours, as soon as possible, and it will be really nice for you to understand the concepts and learn from industry experts. So, thank you, Abhishek, for this event. Yeah. So, thank you, guys. Upgrade more, learn more.